Good evening. We are back. We're back. We're back again. Can't get rid of us. It's the Quarantine Concert Series. I'm your host, Kabir Segal. And to answer the question that you're probably thinking right now, no, I do not have a life. I'm stuck at home, hosting music concerts, and just trying to get through this. This is show number 45, and we really are grateful that you're joining us. And let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing every night. By now, you know we're living through an international emergency. The prescribed medicine is staying at home, staying healthy. I say physical distancing, not social distancing. We can still be social. Problem is, all the gigs have gone away. The creative community has lost all their gigs. I started getting all these emails from musicians that the events were canceled, and I've seen estimates that some of the gigs are canceled into next year. And, you know, concerts are some of the last things that are going to come back. I mean, do you want to be the first person to go to a big concert? I mean, some of us are intrepid and will want to be those people, but it's going to take a lot for consumer confidence to come back. It's going to take a lot for consumer sentiment to come back. So we started this series in earnest to put the spotlight back on the artists, put the spotlight on the people who deserve it the most, the musicians, the talented musicians, the virtuosos that are joining us every single night. And, you know, it's the musicians. It's also the people connected to the musicians who are part of the live entertainment ecosystem. It's the engineers, the producers, the bookers, the managers. There's a whole lot of people that rely on these gigs that bring you the love and the joy that you experience when you go to these concert halls and you go to these restaurants, you go to the performing arts centers. And, you know, the arts it's a big industry. But we really need to be there for the artists and be there for the people who help make us smile. Let's do what we can to make them smile, put the spotlight back on them. So if you know an artist or you know someone in this creative space, hit them up, send them an email, call them, you know, buy their music, stream their music, buy their merchandise, you know, start a fan club. Start a fan club. Why not that? Be a patron. You know, be a patron of these artists. This is what we need to do to make sure that the arts are thriving in our country and around the world. Okay, so that's my spiel. I really should do like a opening monologue or something, like you know how they do it on like on the news, like a talking points memo. Maybe we can start doing that. I like writing op-eds actually, and I'm writing an op-ed about what we're doing here, so hopefully that'll come out soon. All right, so next up, I want to thank our partners at All About Jazz. They're a great music resource started by Michael Ritchie in 1995, the year the Braves won the World Series. Go Braves. I'm broadcasting from Atlanta. My parents are sleeping upstairs, but actually my mom told me that she secretly watches. So hi, Mom. And if you see the internet flickering, Mom, can you please get off the Wi-Fi because I need to be using this. Thank you. Also, if you're an artist, claim your artist page on All About Jazz. If you're a patron, donate to All About Jazz. They're chronicling how this COVID pandemic is affecting and sadly, you know, felling so many of the incredible leading legends in the jazz community. It's really sad to see. And I feel like almost every day I don't want to read the news because there's some kind of sad story coming out, and this is really a moment of national tragedy. So All About Jazz is all over the story. Check them out. Where can you find us? You can find us just about everywhere. We're on the Facebook. We're also on the Twitter. We're also on the very delicious, goes well with marshmallows, Instagram cracker. Just try it. Try it. It's very nice. You can make a campfire. Not inside. I'm going to have to go outside for the campfire, but Instagram cracker. Also on LinkedIn. I know millions of people have lost their jobs recently. If you're on LinkedIn looking for a job right now, I'm sorry to interrupt your search, but join us in this brief moment of music. We hope to inspire and leave you motivated so that when you go out and back onto your search, you won't be just feeling the blues, you'll be singing the blues. And that's what the future employers will want to see, you know? You're turning a negative situation into a positive one. All right, we're also on the YouTube. Check us out everywhere, and you can subscribe. All right. What comes next? Oh, how can you get booked on the show? Good question. Hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. We have a bit of a waiting list. My friends are trying to hit me up to get on the show. I would love to get everyone on the show. We're trying to do our very best. Thank you for your patience and your grace as we move through this. All right, so that's the spiel. Now we get to the best part of the show, where we get to invite and welcome an incredible artist. You know, we've had a lot of saxophonists on this show, but not that many trumpeters. And he's not just a trumpeter. I mean, I was counting. I saw pictures of him playing the flugelhorn and the piano and singing. He has some incredible albums out. He is a man of his stage presence is remarkable. You're gonna love this guy. I know some of you know who he is already, but you're gonna love this guy. He is just a virtuoso and affable. I love people who are just friendly, you know. And so, in honor of having a remarkable trumpet player, I want to get some. We don't really do welcome music because there's plenty of music, but I got some welcome music here for the trumpeter among us. A royal Enrico welcome to Benny Benack III.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, man. You know, I am very affable, except with Atlanta Braves fans, so you gave yourself away. I'm from Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates. You broke our hearts in 1992, man. Barry Bonds in left field, terrible throw. Sid Bream scored the game-winning run. I'll never forgive you for that.
Yeah, I remember exactly. I was like up in that room up there watching the game on TBS.
Oh, man.
We call it in Atlanta. We call it "Where Were You When Sid Slid," and
well, jeez,
goes well in Braves lore. Well, thanks for joining on the show. You're just a remarkable. I think of you as like an incandescent light bulb and light in the jazz community. You have so much mirth and levity to you.
Well, you know, I like you said in your opening, you know, this is such a time of darkness and, you know, such a tragedy for so many people, and we're losing jazz legends, we're losing friends and family, and I thank God for the music because it really is what keeps me sane. And, you know, I kind of made it a mission of mine from the very first day we were quarantined in New York that no matter how down and dark I was feeling on a given day, I was going to try and put on a happy face, you know, so to speak, and put music out and try and bring light to other people because I think we need it now more than ever, you know?
I love that philosophy. Tell me, where are you quarantined right now, and how has the pandemic affected your schedule? What have you had to cancel?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been watching, it breaks my heart. I've been watching some of the other shows that you've been doing, some of these incredible artists that you have had on, and just to hear all of the cool things that people had planned, that everybody has just been affected by it. You know, I have had, I live in Harlem in New York City, so for a lot of jazz musicians in New York, I know you had my friend Emmett and the great Cyril LeMay was on the series. You've had a lot of my friends, a lot of great New York jazz musicians, and there's this world that exists on the road where you're touring, and that's kind of like your big concerts, your festivals. For me, that's with my band. That's when I tour with Postmodern Jukebox. You know, when I played with Ben Folds or Diplo or Major Lazer, these are like larger festivals, and a lot of that is traveling. But when you're at home in New York, there's, you know, 24 jazz clubs, which is why all the musicians flock here, because every night of the week until 4 a.m, you have 10 places you can go to hear great jazz. And it's just not like that anywhere else in the world. So when I'm home in New York, I'm not used to sitting in my apartment because every night I'm either playing a gig or going and seeing my friends play. So New York is really at a standstill right now. And it's never really had a time like it. You know, I was riding, I have an electric scooter, and I went for a little joyride the other day. And I can tell you, I've been in New York for 10 years. I rode my scooter, you know, from Harlem to Gramercy Park and back. And I rode straight down Broadway, down Times Square, right through the you know, the park. I've never seen Times Square, Herald Square that empty in 10 years in New York in the middle of the day. So it's just it's a crazy, surreal time. And, you know, like every other musician, I've had every gig canceled through the summer. I was just supposed to be in Europe in July and play the Jazz at Vienna Festival. That was canceled last week. I think the only thing that I have still on the books technically is a tour in Japan in August. And, you know, I've been talking to my friends over there. They're still saying, oh, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. But they already have canceled the Olympics, which were the same week I was supposed to be in Tokyo. So, yeah, I don't know, man. The gigs are gone. But, you know, thank God for live streams, you know.
You got it. What would you like to start your set off with tonight?
I'm going to do the title track of my debut album, or I shouldn't say debut, my follow-up album that just came out at the end of January. This is an old show tune entitled A Lot of Living to Do from the musical Bye Bye Birdie. get the band going up. The whole band is here on the keyboard, ladies and gentlemen. There's my drummer. There are girls just right for some kissing, and I mean to kiss me a few. Oh, those girls don't know what they're missing. I've got a lot of living to do. Well, there's wine all ready for tasting, and there's Cadillacs all shiny and new. Gotta move, 'cause time is a-wasting. I've got a lot of living to do. There's music to play, people to see, and places to go. Everything for you and me. Life's a ball, if only you'd know it. And it's all just waiting for you. You're alive, so come on and show it. There's such a lot of living to do. There's people to see, places to go, and places to sing. Everything for you and me. Life's a ball, if only you'd know it. And it's all just waiting for you. You're alive, so come on and show it. There's such a lot of living, such a lot of living, such a lot of living to do. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, folks. You're too kind. You're too kind, folks. Thank you. 10 out of 10.
It's out of 11, but it's pretty good.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Nice. You're a great crowd, folks. You're a beautiful crowd.
Thank you. Dude, that was pretty incredible.
Thank you, man.
You can play like 4 instruments better than I can play one, and I play the bass, and you're walking a better bass than I probably
Oh
can.
my gosh. Well, you know.
What is man? I almost feel like you should like book. You could probably play a gig, and you probably do, and like it's like multiple personalities, and you're playing in different ways. It almost seems complicated, but remarkable at the same time. How do you get so good at so many instruments at the same time? How do you even segment your day to practice in that way?
Well, it's funny, you know, I never really practiced this idea of playing trumpet and piano at the same time. You know, it kind of was a bit of a gimmick. It's kind of like a party trick, and there are a couple jazz guys that do it, but really only a couple of them. And it's maybe something that I might pull out, you know, on an encore or something for fun, but it never was really like a practical thing until a situation like this where for the foreseeable future we're only really performing by ourselves. So I had to be able to play the trumpet, which is my main instrument. You know, I've got some friends on Instagram tuning in that know me as a trumpet player, but if I'm just playing the horn unaccompanied, it's going to be lacking that bottom. It's going to be empty. So I know that I play some piano, and I said, gosh, if I could only play piano and trumpet at the same time. Now, the only complicated part about it is, you know, you're a bass player. You understand, you know, bass, piano. These are concert instruments. So when I play in the key of C on the piano, on the trumpet, which is a B-flat tuned instrument, I'm playing a step above. So as I'm walking bass lines on the keyboard, I'm thinking, okay, I'm playing a blues in C. All right, cool. Now, but on the trumpet, I have to think a blues in D. So I have to be thinking in 2 different keys at the same time. And that's when you start to get into like Inception, where it's like, you know, in one brain, one dream, I'm playing piano, and the other dream, the deeper dream, I'm playing the trumpet. And then in the deepest level of the dream, I'm singing. And, you know, on the surface, they're all happening at the same time.
Wow, and that's a great way of explaining it, and using a movie to sort of explain it in that way. Is that something? Have you been practicing your piano more at home?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, heck yeah. It's especially what a lot of people are doing other than live stream concerts. People are producing more content, you know, now than ever at home. So, for example, you're looking at me on Instagram. I bought like a ring light on a tripod. I'm like a little influencer now. So I got my lighting. You know, I got all these microphones. I got an interface. I got the keyboard, and I'm also getting pretty good at, you know, producing music. You know, Logic, Pro Tools, GarageBand. And I'm playing a lot of piano because I will produce the tracks, you know, kind of like Stevie Wonder style, where I play all of the instruments myself. And then you put it into a video, and this corner is the piano player, and this corner is the bass player, and this is the singer, and this is the trumpet. So, you know, we're just
action.
Yeah, right. We're just doing anything and everything we can to stay engaged. You know.
You is that your DAW of choice, Logic?
No, actually, you're going to laugh. It's actually GarageBand, and I only knew the phrase DAW until about 3 weeks ago when the quarantine started, and you know, I started getting hired now because I was just kind of putting together really crude mixes of songs for people for YouTube and stuff, and I was doing it on GarageBand, and it's getting to a point now where like people are, you know, requiring me to like put the audio together, and I need to do a little bit more than, you know, GarageBand.
Totally.
So I think I got to bite the bullet and just pay for Logic.
Yeah, I hear you. I didn't know what DAW was until like about a year or two ago, because I just got religion and was like, you know what, I'm gonna start Ableton, and I just took all these YouTube tutorials and got a lot better.
You taught yourself how to do it just from that?
Yeah, and I'm making
That's
tracks
awesome.
now and stuff, because I feel like, you know, I come from the jazz world too, and I feel like when you produce something, you all just play together, and it's this great live experience.
Right.
But where do you think much about mixing jazz and electronics at all? Do you ever think about blending those worlds now that you're kind of in this DAW area? Have you thought about maybe I can take what I love doing and mixing it with?
Yeah, I mean,
World.
there's like some real world applications of that too. Like, you know, one of the things that you see with a lot of horn players now, one of the last gigs that I played actually before the quarantine was a gig with a DJ. And that's something where, you know, yes, we're existing in a time where maybe not every wedding is going to have a 12-piece band at their wedding, but they might still appreciate live music. They maybe want a DJ because all the young people want to dance and they want to hear the music that they hear in the club. But they still want that excitement that live musicians give you. So, I've played gigs where I'm making tracks for myself to play along with a DJ or to play with someone on electronic drums or to play with a hip hop, producer. And in that way, for example, the concert that I played with Diplo and Major Lazer last summer, it was at the huge music festival in New York every year on Fire Island. I forget what it's called. It was like Coachella or something. I don't know.
Global Citizens. That's in the central. It just shows you how out of touch we are with the mainstream.
I was like, was it Coachella? It was Ultra. No, I don't remember. I don't
Googling
even know
who is Diplo. No.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. When I got the gig, pretty much. But no, that was an example where they sent us a produced track, and they sent us they were all like 60 stems, and we had to just isolate the horn parts. And then when we went out on stage and played, we had the produced track in our ear. Like, there wasn't a live band playing with us. It was just horns with the track. And, there was like flames coming up from the stage, and I was, up there on stage for like 20,000 people, and it was one of the most exhilarating performances I've ever had, and it couldn't have been farther from jazz. So, you can be a purist, and you can say, oh, well, I'm only going to play acoustic instruments in an acoustic room, and this is what I love. But I found if by remaining open-minded, it's given me some of the coolest musical experiences I've ever had. So jazz is always my love, but I think jazz, the reason that it's America's music, it's such a democratic music that it can be blended with so many different styles.
Amen. Well said. Well said. All right. We love to hear another one. We got a question on IG. What are you drinking right now?
I'm so glad you asked. Just to make me feel like I'm on a gig, I have to pour some whiskey, because if I was really playing a gig at 10:20 at night, it would be whiskey. The rest of my quarantine, I'm drinking like White Claw. I'm drinking seltzer. But for the gigs, we got to do whiskey. This is a bourbon blend from a friend of mine has a place. It's called Fistful of Bourbon, and it's actually quite nice. Little toffee, little cinnamon action. It's a little flavor forward. It's nice. I'm a whiskey guy.
All right.
Great question. So we're gonna do a little medley now. This is in honor of they just had this big Global Citizens, this concert last night. Elton John, Lady Gaga, all these wonderful artists performed, and Lady Gaga did a song by the great what's his name? The famous who wrote Smile? Who wrote the song Smile?
I think he lives on Fire Island.
Joplin. Yeah. My dad's watching on Instagram. I know he knows the answer. Smile, one of the great classic songs. Lady Gaga performed it.
Chaplin, right?
Yes, thank you, Charlie Chaplin. And it went a little viral in the music community for the wrong reasons, because Lady Gaga played all the wrong chords on the piano. So all the jazz nerds were attacking. The jazz police came out against Lady Gaga, and she said, you're playing all the wrong chords. So we're going to do a nice little bossa nova. We're going to do a medley of Smile in honor of Lady Gaga, and then we're going to go into When You're Smiling. So this is our little Smile medley. Here we go. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through. Play that hand sanitizer, Kabir. Whoa, light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? you'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Smile with your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, smile, what's the use of crying? That's the time you must keep on trying. You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Whoa, just smile. When you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, when you're laughing, whoa, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. So stop your sighing, 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 sighing. Be happy again when you're smiling. Oh, when you're smiling, well, the whole world smiles with you.
Fuego, my friend. My goodness.
Thank you very much.
So much talent. So much talent. That was just,
Thank you, man.
just
Give me a little bit of that. Give me a little bit of that. Sprinkle them on here. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
really get it in there.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. The music is as pure as the Purell, folks. There you go.
Dude, that was awesome. So much
Thank you,
talent. You have so much going on in your mind, and you make it sound so simple. He makes it sound easy. It's not easy.
Oh
It's
God,
not easy
it
being
is
that
not easy,
talented.
but I'm glad if it sounds like it. But it's
Not easy. I mean, it sounds tough, but I'm saying it's so like pure and like it's coming from like a place of great heart. You're such an incredible
I appreciate that, man.
artist, and there's an authenticity that just comes loud and clear, and just a cut above so many that I've heard, just remarkable.
Thank you, man.
Hey, let's put your album up on the screen. I love the Instagram look.
All right, yeah, that was my Joe Exotic.
Let's put your album on the screen. Tell me about the album. Why'd you want to do this? And talk to me about the repertoire. What made it onto the album? Why did those songs make it onto the album?
Yeah, it's a great question. For my first record, which came out a couple of years ago, 2017 in the fall, I believe, I was working with kind of a creative team, and there were some people, some handlers, if you will, industry folks that kind of were pushing me in a certain direction that said, this is your first album, this is your introduction to the world, and, we know that you're kind of this, jovial, convivial, buoyant kind of personality, but we don't want to, like, freak people out. They're just getting accustomed to you. They're just getting to meet you. So
This one right here, the one of a kind.
One of a kind, that's right.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, the difference, the mood, even just from the cover art, from One of a Kind to A Lot of Living to Do, is vastly different. And, in a certain respect, I'm glad that that's the route that we went, because it did kind of introduce the world to me, and it was, kind of something that was a little bit more maybe, palatable, a little bit more family friendly. But, the growth between 2017 and when the new record came out, just the beginning of this year, 2020, it was just the same story that any artist, that any person goes through in their 20s, of me just kind of, discovering who I am and coming to terms with that, and really accepting that, and not running from it, not being afraid of it, but actually wanting to display that, And so the first record, I still was, it's a great record, and I'm happy with how it turned out, and a lot of my original music made it on there. But I felt like there was a little bit of like, I was being muted a little bit. And this record, I said, you know what? Come hell or high water, it's gonna be me, And I said, we took all these pictures for the cover art, and of course the one that was like the most obnoxious, I was like, that's the one I want. That's the one I want. And nobody else could talk me out of it. I was like, that's it. That's the picture. When you see that picture on the cover, we'll put it up here for everyone on Instagram again. It's like, what this album is about before you even listen to it, And I think musically that's true. I tried to pick music that reflects my mood at this point in my life. I mean, granted, it was pre-corona. The album came out in January, so at that point I thought I was going to be, traveling the world all year, living it up. And, of course we're in a different reality now. But the music, I'm happy because it kind of, it typifies that spirit, and we always do some covers. We do some jazz standards and some original music of mine. I try and do a mix.
Who's in the band?
So the drums actually are the producer on the album. So that's Ulysses Owens Jr., and he's a wonderful jazz drummer. And on piano is a friend of mine, Takeshi Obayashi. We call him T-Cash. And he has been in a band with me and Ulysses for many years, the New Century Jazz Quintet. That's the gig I have in Tokyo in August. We go to Japan and tour there every year.
Awesome.
And so those guys have played together a bunch. And then the big coup for me was getting Christian McBride to play bass.
Wow.
Who, I worked with him. I toured Europe with his big band as a trumpet player. And I don't even think he knew that I sang. But I, asked him to play the record. And I gave his agent, dates for the entirety of 2019 when I recorded it, from January 1st all the way to December. And I said, well, you know what? If I can get this thing recorded sometime before the spring's out, I'm going to go to Shanghai in March. It'd be nice to do it maybe after that, April. His manager emailed me back and said, Christian is available January 4th. Like, that's it. Like, every day of the year, they gave me one day. And it was like, well, do you want to, fulfill your dreams and record with the greatest bass player of his generation? Or do you want to, reschedule? And so I said, all right, we'll do it. And at this point, it was already the middle of December. So I really had to kind of work backwards and scramble to get the studio, get the engineer. But everything kind of fell into place. And for me, you're a bass player. You'll appreciate this. To me, the bass is everything. That's the heart and soul. It all comes down to the bass. And once I knew Christian McBride was on board, I knew it was going to be really fun. And then we had a couple duets. We got to work with a friend of mine, the great Veronica Swift, incredible jazz singer. We do a duet on the record on a Tune Social Call that's kind of had some success on the radio, and grateful for that. So I'm happy with the record.
Also an alum of the show, Veronica.
Oh, yeah, of course. What am I talking about? Yeah, you know her well.
She's what a special album it is. I encourage everyone to check this out. It really is good. There's a lot. I get sent a lot of jazz albums. This one really stands out. You've got to really go there, add it to your playlist, and just listen and immerse yourself in this great record. It's just the arrangements are great, the music, the performance, just, again, first class, soup to nuts. So
thank you, man.
Yeah. What would you like to do next?
We are going to honor the great Louis Armstrong. This is one of his big hits, a song that during times like this is always important to remember. Despite everything that's going on, we still have a wonderful world. I see trees of green and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Whoa. I see skies of blue, the dark sacred night. I see them grow, whether wrong or right, and it's all 'cause of you. What a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than you'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see children laugh, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than you'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful.
Wow.
Thank you, brother. Oh, we got the standing ovation. You're too kind, folks. You are just too kind. I see you, Sarayu. Thank you very much. You're too kind, folks. Folks, we appreciate it. It means so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Kabir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to do something I haven't done on the show yet.
Bring it. Bring it. Let's do it. First time for everything.
I want to present you this bowl.
Are you kidding me? Oh my, let me take my sunglasses off for this
bowl.
on Instagram.
You get my mom's favorite bowl.
Oh my gosh.
This
I will cherish it. I will cherish it.
Sterling like you.
Hey.
Hey.
We'll take it, man. And tell your mom I'm sorry for all the noise, you know.
The first time, this is the Quarantine Concert Series Sterling Bowl, and the inaugural recipient
wow.
is Benny Benack III.
Man, that means a lot. Thank you, folks, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank my father, Benny Benack Jr., he's watching. We've got the bowl. It means so much. Look at that. Put the hand sanitizer in the bowl. How about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Dude, that's the first one. I'm trying to think of how to outdo it, but like that's, you know, a lot of people get the applause. Some people get the flowers. You get the bowl.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. And I hope, I hope that it's not a token gift. I hope you only give it out. Only give it out for the deserving few, okay?
There's very few.
I'm watching every night. Sometimes 2 a day. So I'm going to be watching now. I'm going to see who gets that bowl.
I'll keep it under lock. It's your bowl for now.
All right. I'm the current bowl holding title. I'll take it.
Exactly. What is I want to ask something about the current process. I know are you writing new material? Do you have any things that you're going to say, hey, you know what? I wrote this during the quarantine.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there was a little bit of inspiration for me the first day that we were quarantined in New York, and that's actually going to be probably the next tune, maybe the last tune or the next thing I'm going to do here, is a tune that I wrote based on the guidelines at the time about the masks, because I wanted to write a jazz song, but I wanted to do something fun because they had just made the announcement about, having shelter in place, and it was the Monday, so it was the first day that businesses shut down in New York. And I knew people were going to be, grappling with that and feeling kind of glum. So I said, what's a song I can do to lift people's spirits, and how can I make it topical? And I've done that a couple times now. I've written a tune. I put it out on YouTube. It's called The Quarantine Blues. I did a virtual duet with a great singer from Spain by the name of Mar Villaseca. And, we both recorded in our bedrooms, and we spliced it all together. That's on my YouTube. But this next number, actually, it went a little viral. Pun intended, because it is about coronavirus, and it's a kind of humorous take on a jazz classic, Put on a Happy Face, and it actually, it made it on the evening news in New York, and it was shared a bunch of times, so that was really fun. And basically, I took Put on a Happy Face, and I made it Put a Mask on Your Face. And what's funny is the time I did it, it was like the beginning of the quarantine, almost a month ago at this point, and there were people on Twitter that were commenting like, this is terrible medical advice. You are killing people. How could you dare tell people to wear masks? Because the prevailing science at that time was only wear a mask if you are infected or if you're a health professional. And if you're not infected, if you had a mask, they were like, send it to the hospital. You shouldn't wear it. And now, of course, being the very prescient artist that I am, it turns out now everybody has to wear a mask. So the song, Put a Mask on Your Face, actually has been given new meaning. And, that's one of the main things that artists have at their arsenal during this thing is to write new music. And for many friends of mine, many friends I know, the things they talk about the most, writing new music, practicing their instrument, those are the things that they say, gosh, I wish I wish I was in college again. I wish I could go to the practice room for 4 hours and just shed, But no, you don't have time because you're traveling, you're touring, you're performing. You got to pay your rent. So in that respect, it's actually been nice because I've been practicing every day. I haven't done that since I was in my mom's basement, watching pirate games in the summertime. Yeah. So I'm grateful for that. I'm closer to my instruments than I ever have been. I'm writing a lot of music. It's hard to find inspiration. It's hard to find that creativity when you can't freaking go outside. But, we do the best we can.
I hear you. Let's hear it. I think it's your final number. Thank you so much for playing this.
All righty. This is the first tune since the bowl has been given out, so we got to make it count. This is Put a Mask on Your Face. Corona's gonna clear up. Put a mask on your face. But please but please do not leave your place. Don't be a tough guy and still go outside. Can you believe the nerve? Above all else, self-quarantine and we'll flatten the curve. Pick out your favorite Netflix, FaceTime your friends and foes. Learn a few brand new card tricks. Don't touch your face or nose. Don't spread corona all over the place. And put a mask on your face. how to cook a new dish, or try out a yoga pose. Grant yourself any old wish, Marie Kondo all your clothes. Don't spread corona all over the place. Just put a mask on, you're happy. Think of your nan and pappy. Put a mask on your happy face. All over the place. Put a mask on your face. Put a mask on your face.
Yeah. That is the magic art
Cheers, everybody.
of Benny Benack III.
Thank you so much, Kabir. Thank you for having me, man. It's
Yeah.
been a privilege.
That's the joy. Marie Kondo talks about only embrace things that give you joy. I want everyone to embrace Benny Benack III. He will give you a lot of joy. Check out his music, buy his music. Put his website up on the screen. There's some merchandise there. You can check it out. You'll get those goods signed and delivered. Yeah. Well done, my friend.
Thank you
I'm
so
really
much,
looking forward
Kabir.
to, as much as I love this concert series and everything, I'm really looking forward to connecting with you in person and
I hear you,
seeing
man. You know, I was supposed to be in Atlanta with Postmodern Jukebox this month,
Awesome.
but we'll reschedule it. I'll be down there, man.
I'm
I'll be
mostly
down
in
there.
New York. I'm just here to hunker down, but
Oh, heck. Well, then
we
we
should find-
will we'll
we
share
should
some
find something
whiskeys
to,
in New
to
York.
collaborate on one of these days.
Would love to, man.
All right. Thanks for joining us. God bless. Stay healthy. I want to give a special shout out to the Sound and Tech team who are part of every broadcast. That's Sandra and Camilo.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's put your website up on the screen, Sandra and Camilo. Soundworksrecording.com. If you are an artist and needs mixing and mastering services, any kind of audio services, check them out because their schedule cleared up too, and they have very generously filled their schedule with these shows. So it just shows you how generous they are. And if you mention one of their dogs, Maui or Oreo, you will get a discount. So two looks for
good to
that.
know.
Yeah, so that's that. And I think coming up tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, we have a great piano player, Tal Cohen.
Oh, I love Tal.
Yeah, Tal's awesome. So he's going to be gracing our stage. He's really another virtuoso, but I'm not sure if he's going to get the ball. We'll see. So stay tuned for Tal. We have some great artists coming up this week. Also coming up, the great Regina Carter, Joey Alexander. So keep it here, 10 p.m. Eastern, and we'll try to bring the best of the best to your computer screen. Stay healthy, stay home, and take care. Good night.